Thank you, Janet. Welcome. This is the Town of Rowley Municipal Light Board. It's a regular meeting for May 21st, 2012 at 4 p.m. And I think everybody has a copy of the agenda.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay. One announcement I have to make is that this is Monday, and the selectmen do meet tonight. So they've asked us if we could possibly be out of here by 5 o'clock. That would be great, so they can set up and get ready. So if we can shoot for that time frame, that would be good. The time is now 4:01, and I call the meeting to order. Okay, item number 2 on the agenda this evening is organization of the board to appoint a chairman and a clerk. So,
I make a motion that Bob stay as chairman.
I'll second that.
Look excited.
do I really have to do that?
Well, I mean,
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion carries.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Keys as clerk.
Second that nomination. Nomination made and seconded. All those in favor of nominating or electing Ken
yeah, right.
as the board clerk signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. My condolences, Ken. Okay, item number 3. Discussion on job posting for municipal light plant manager. And Jackie was good enough to give us a job title and description for posting. We also have received a letter from Darcy Associates, and it's to the chairman of the board. It says, "Dear Mr. Mary, Jacqueline Vijat told me that you were about to begin a recruitment search for a new general manager. I am writing to offer you my assistance in helping you find the right candidate. I have a long-standing relationship with Rowley Light, beginning with Linda Susi. I also work with many other NEPA members and have assisted them with their recruiting initiatives. If I can be of any assistance to you and the Board of Commissioners, please do not hesitate to call me. I have enclosed an article I wrote on recruiting a general manager, which was published in the NEPA newsline. I hope you find it helpful. Please give me a call and we can discuss how I might be of assistance." He's also put the inclusion in here, which is kind of nice. So I don't know what you members have decided what you would try to do. I would kind of like to go possibly this route to be able to get out into the field out there and try to recruit somebody. But I don't know if you guys have given it any thought or.
No, I mean, it's something new. We haven't done it in the past, right?
I haven't done it, and to be
No.
perfectly honest with you, I didn't even know that we were using this fellow for anything.
Hmm.
That Linda never, that I remember, had never mentioned it, but it may have been before my time, so.
I mean, is this going to cost us anything? I mean,
Well, I think it will, but in my mind, I think it would be money well spent.
He is an expert in this. He's an HR expert. He has contacted me and talked to me about it, and I believe that Linda has used him in the past. Because I see some of his stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's up to you guys,
No,
but
I have no.
I think it might, at least, maybe we should talk to him,
Yeah,
at the very least.
Yeah.
I can find out
I
what
mean,
his,
can we get this on a phone, talk to him on a phone so we can
and find out how much.
find out, yeah, what his fee is. I mean, I mean, what does he do? Does he handle the whole thing, or does he just bring us a few best candidates, or find out what he actually does? And for what amount?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't give us any pricing. He did give us a copy of this NEPA newsletter article. I don't know if you probably haven't seen it. We can maybe make some copies and get it to you before the end of the meeting, or at the end of the meeting.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, well, contact him, see what,
this is Rick Darcy is the president of Darcy and Associates, which provides organizations with powerful, sustainable workforce strategies that are tailored to help them accomplish their goals and better use their greatest resource, employees. Darcy is a recognized national speaker and is the author of the book Uncomplicating Management. Focus on your stars and your company will soar. He can be reached at, and he's got an email address here. So, you fellows agree, I think we need to at least maybe just talk to him.
Yep.
Try to
Yep.
get some
Sounds good.
pointers. And I would certainly like to read that when I get a little bit more time to do it.
yeah.
Just to, and we can get copies, for everybody.
Because when I looked in all the files at the office, the only thing that I found was, and I believe, because it's 2004,
Yeah,
is that when Linda was?
I believe so. Was it
And this
yeah.
this is what went out in the NEPA magazine.
Okay.
This ad, which is really
Yeah, it really doesn't really give you much of
it
anything.
doesn't give you much of anything, right? It's kind of basic.
Yeah, we just to get resumes, and I think they were doing it, and then we interviewed with what we thought they should be qualified with.
And if you want to put this in the NEPA
Yeah, I think you should.
Newsletter?
newsletter, then if you want to do it for June, we need to move quickly
Okay, I think
because
I'd say we think that.
it's a monthly newsletter. So
Right,
I make a motion that we,
we want to do this for June. So we probably need to do this. We're already Memorial Day, May 30th is next week. So
right.
we have to make sure we have enough time
Okay.
to contact them so that they can put this in their
June ninth.
yeah in their June newsletter.
you need a motion for it, or just?
Well, it would be nice to have a motion, yeah.
I'll make a motion that we get right on that, so we can get in for the next month. We open at advertising. And
And I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded to place a manager employment ad in the NEPA newsletter, if we can at all make it in June. Hopefully we meet the deadline. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Is there any other discussion on that topic?
do we want to put any qualifications or anything, just to eliminate a few?
Well, I think we could start with this employment policy,
Yeah.
or at least
Okay.
some of it.
Yeah, some of it.
Well,
How
I
would you
think
wanna
maybe
condense
what we could do is when we talk to this Darcy company, find out exactly what he needs, and he can give me a list. He can give us a list of what he wants so that he can. He's probably going to prepare this for us.
Okay.
So everything that he's going to need, we can provide for him. So I will call him as soon as I can
Okay,
and
that'd be
find
good.
out what exactly he needs from us.
Yeah.
And maybe just faxing him
See,
that job description.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to talk to him, just find out what he would suggest.
Yep.
How we should advertise it in the newsline,
Yeah.
and where we should advertise it, that type of thing.
And how much it's going to cost us.
Yeah, well, we need some sort of a figure, but.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Mark? Got something?
Yep.
I believe in '04, we also put it in the APPA. I don't know how far out you want to go, how big of an area. NEPA's New England, APP's is the country.
National, yeah.
So, I mean, that's a decision you guys can make, how broad you want to be or not be. I thought I'd just put that in there.
Yep.
Doesn't
But
hurt.
that also was a monthly and
Good. All right.
needs to be addressed.
Yeah, there again, we can speak with, see if he's had
Yep.
any experience as to how that works. Whenever I go anywhere, when I mention I come from Rowley, nobody knows where it is. So,
Or they spell it differently.
That is so
Rowley,
true.
yeah.
Typically Raleigh.
Rowley, oh, Newburyport. You know where Newburyport is?
Okay, is there any other discussion on the light plant manager position posting? Ready to go on to item 4? Okay, moving right along as we are. Item 4 is review and vote on tree trimming bid contract. And I must admit, I haven't had a chance to read the bid. So, have we got a copy of that by any chance?
That's the bid.
Specifications?
That's the specs.
Solicitations, okay.
And we do have the 3 bids that came in.
This is the 3 bids.
Okay. Mark, you mentioned something about there was a page that wasn't quite up to snuff with the rest of it. Is that the last page, or?
Are we talking time constraints?
No.
Or,
No, I mean, you had mentioned that
well,
there had been a last-minute change in the document itself, and then it didn't quite,
well, if you go to the last page where the phases are,
this here?
yeah, 2 back, no, that way, sorry, forward, right here. These are what they actually bid on, the sections by phases,
Okay,
and then a total amount. What didn't get translated when this was kind of a last minute of how to proceed with this.
yep,
So in the actual section C of this bid package,
section E, section C. So I guess I'm in section C. This is section C right here at the end of it. 'Cause that's D there, so,
the start of C. This part right here.
yep.
This should have said by phase to get
Instead
the
of
lump sum, and then the next page would have been the total sum of the 3, of whatever phases we
They-
want to put into that.
They had actually
With a
bid on.
total.
They had actually bid on.
So when they did the actual bid, we just took the actual, this is the page that we took the lump sum, and that
Okay.
being all 4 phases.
Okay. So these 4 phases are
Part of
12.
the 6 sections, there's 470 pole sections. And those are areas that I put together based on these 6 zones that we have in town,
Okay.
that I've split up into 6 trimming zones.
So, I
And-
guess,
And then within the zones, you have the next time they should be trimmed on a 5-year schedule.
okay. But this would be per year, right?
Well, I mean, the idea is to kind of do a 5 to 6 year trim,
Right.
and then try and do a zone every year. That's the overall objective of this. That's only been the zones have only been in place for about 4 years.
Okay.
So, and we haven't really kept up with that yet. To catch up to where we should be to do it a zone at a time. So, what I've done is just pick the areas that are more in need of trimming.
Okay.
And actually, when you award the bid, also, when there's an agreement that they have to sign, and we can tell them how long, if you want it done in 3 years, we can say 3 years. There's a place in that agreement to say that.
Well, I guess one of the things is, we had talked to the crew, and last year, and kind of did an experiment, if you will, is to see what it would cost to have them do the work on after hours, rather than line time. We did it on tree trimming time on after hours. And I I guess I'm not quite sure how this all fits together. In that, I think I would like to see a budget
I do have the numbers that we,
that you put together.
From
Yeah,
last year.
but I mean an overall budget for tree trimming.
oh, okay.
Okay, so we take 2013, or even 2012, because we're starting to get into the springtime that we want to do the trimming, and say, okay, we're gonna spend X dollars on tree trimming this year. And then we would either split it up with the tree company and you guys, or the tree company would get it all, or you guys would get it all.
Yeah.
And I guess my concern there is that I don't really want to put all my eggs in one basket. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but my worst nightmare was a tornado or a hurricane. And I know that there's an awful lot of work to be done when we get a storm like that,
Yeah.
Particularly on the line side. And you really don't get a chance to do much tree trimming. And unfortunately, in the town of Rowley, we only have a 3-man tree department, and they don't have a bucket truck. So it does make it difficult. So I kind of like to use somebody like Valley Tree or whoever the other bidders might be, just to have them familiar with us, familiar with our town, and being able to call them if we had a situation where we needed a tree taken down, and that has happened. There was one on Havel Street that would have taken out the whole town if it had come down, and it was very close to doing that. And at that time, they came right over and did it that day. So it's nice to have that working relationship with the tree company that you're using. So, I don't know where that leaves us, but that's just.
Is
my-
there a, well,
Well, I think when we're talking trimming, and we're not talking when there's a hurricane.
Right.
Of course, we'd have the other people. This is just like normal trimming that these guys see all the time that they could go out and do.
Right. But that's what the tree
I don't think
company.
it's a big scale thing. Am I wrong? Or-
I don't know.
It's
Can I,
not a big scale.
with,
it's something-
well, the trimming, I mean,
Well, I mean, it's basically trimming, and
Yeah.
Like
That's trimming
preventive
line.
maintenance.
yeah,
Right.
preventive maintenance. Yeah, we're not taking down trees.
Right, that's what I mean, right.
and
yeah.
that's what we'd be using
The other.
the winner of this bid basically for. Also, except at times there would be a tree takedown or a tree
Right.
cleanup if there was a storm.
Yeah, I know, like in
And
the
lightning and things.
windstorm
You guys are gonna
When
be
the town-
busy with other things.
2 years ago, we had Valley come in,
Yeah.
How we got to this point was because of the discussion last year was to have the guys do some trimming and then compare it to a company to come in and trim.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. No. I
And
understand
when
that.
we started to proceed with that, it was found that we needed to go through the correct bidding process, and it's taken this long to get to that point. So this is where we're at to get a company to compare to.
Right.
Now, what I did was I picked Main Street and Havel Street for comparative. It's 163 sections here and 164 there. Fairly similar in comparison. Now, what I've done was I've done that comparison based on this. This is the Havel Street. Now, what I did was I took the number of the bid, the lowest bid, which is 42,000, divided it by the 470 sections, and then just took the 163 and got a dollar amount. That's what the 9127 is.
Okay.
And that would be for phase one. It would be this much for the lowest bidder to do that work. And then the next page is actually what the guys did when they worked, and the actual dollar amount comes out to 11,000. Which, if the guys were to do, that's your comparison numbers.
And I have no problem with that. I mean, I think that's great if the
Can I
guys.
give you guys this?
Yep.
That's what I did the same thing, but if we did all of it, that's what the total savings would be.
For the
But
the full 4 phases
Yeah.
is what they're comparing to.
we just took the the dollar amount that it costs us to do Main Street.
Okay, I mean, I really don't have any trouble giving you guys some work.
I mean, I know what you mean, maybe there's a, not under that bid,
But,
but maybe
I
there's a
mean-
way to split it.
Yeah, but I don't know of that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not familiar with the way the documents, because like I say, I didn't really have a chance to sit down and study it, and I probably wouldn't understand it anyway if I did. But, you know, I mean, I don't know what the bidder expects to get when we award the bid. Whether they expect to get all of the phases?
Well, the 4 phases, yes. I would say the way this is right now, what they bid on, the 42,000 would be for the 4 phases, which is right under your fingers.
Right here.
Those 4 phases is what the 42,000 is.
So this is just for 2012, 11 and 12.
Well, it
Plus,
was.
well, I guess you can't use that date because it overlaps,
Right.
because there's a 5 and a 7 down there too.
When we put this together, it was supposed to be a 3-year contract to do what those phases are.
So
over a 3-year
phase 1, 2, 3, and 4 would be over 3 years?
That was the way it was designed. In the C section is has that exempt out of there, but when we award this contract, there's an actual line in there that we can put the consecutive amount of time, so we could put the 3 years in that contract.
Why do I feel uncomfortable?
Well,
Because
it
I think
started
it's
with-
because I think it's like half and half. This is for the whole thing,
I know.
and
I
they
understand
want
the
to
pro-
do the whole thing, but
Well-
you don't, you want to probably do half and
Well,
half.
I think what I really would like to do is to keep a working relationship with whoever the bidder, the winner of the bid is. So that when there's a hurricane predicted, and National Grid and everybody else in the world is out there contracting with these people to put them on standby so that they'll be there, given all of the stuff that's going on in the last 2 years with those utilities, that there's not gonna be anybody out there for us to use. If we have a tree down that we can't handle, that the town can't handle, or if we need cleanup while we're trying to put stuff up, that's.
Well,
that's a
maybe we're
concern.
better off in just doing sections at a time, bidding it with sections, not 3 things together. And then you could give a section to the tree company one time, you could give to the men the next time, you know what I mean?
Well, I think we can, you know, what I'd like.
So you use them both.
Yeah, what I wanna do is use the guys when they've got the time to do it.
Right.
If we've got a big project going and we need some trimming done, then we bring the tree company in.
Yeah.
If we've got some time and they wanna do it on Saturdays, and we can get it done, and then obviously it looks like it's gonna be cheaper anyway,
Yeah.
then we can do it that way.
It worked out, yeah.
It'll work out fine.
And-
I just don't wanna
No, I know what you
cut
mean, and I
cut that
I agree
umbilical
with that.
cord
I
with
guess-
the tree
Right,
guys.
yeah.
I guess I would, I mean, I don't know if there's a way you can either not sign it and then rebid it at a small section, or,
Well, I think at this point, what I'd like to suggest, and then you guys can jump in here if you want, is to maybe put this on kind of hold for a while until we can kind of think it through. And maybe we might want to go back out and rebid it with a little bit different scenario.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how that's going to work either. I mean, that's something we got to think about.
If we're gonna use this bid, we have 30 days from when the bid was, which gives us to June 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but we're not gonna.
If we're gonna use
We're not
this.
gonna do it this way. We're gonna do it so we can get a little of each, right? Isn't that?
well, that's what I mean, and I think you
think
guys
that's a good
agree.
idea, yeah.
I think they agree. I mean,
Yeah.
they understand. They've been out there and
Yeah.
they know what goes on.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I mean, you wanna have
yeah,
someone
that's
you
the
can
thing.
call if you need to.
Yeah.
They know what's out there.
And it, you know, and
It does get, you know,
yeah, I mean, even Mass Electric now, or National Grid now is
Well,
going, they're doing aerial surveys to try to find the trees now because they're gonna
Yeah.
need the, you know,
Yeah.
the pressure's
Mm.
on. And I'd hate to be in that position. I mean, we've done very well in the years past, getting things back together.
yeah.
And,
Well, and there's definitely enough for them to get this and for the guys to do as much as they want.
So maybe we could, and I think, in my mind, the easiest way to do that is to put in a budget and say, okay, this year we're gonna spend $40,000 on tree trimming. You guys on Saturdays can do this, and Valley Tree, you can come in and you can do this. And we just assign them a group of this zones.
These phases are based off about 6 weeks of trimming.
Yeah.
That's basically what we've done in the past, 6
Okay.
weeks. A few years, we did 12 weeks in the year just to try and catch up.
Yeah.
So,
Well-
I mean, as far as the budget, I mean, that's where we got into our little
Okay.
situation. And
I mean, I can attest to the fact what happens when you don't do tree trimming.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
because I had a year where I couldn't afford to do tree trimming when I was manager. And I skipped it. And I swore up and down I'd never do it again because we had all kinds of problems.
Oh, yeah.
So
it
it's
takes
something
forever
you've
to
got
get
to.
back.
It is.
Yeah.
It's something you've got to keep after.
Yeah, because once it gets too big, it's just so much harder.
Yeah. I figure, well, you know, I can get the money this year, we'll just do it next year. Well, we had a large growth season, with a lot of, you know, just like this spring, a lot of rain,
Yeah.
a lot of growth, and we got behind, and it took us a while to catch up. So if it's okay, I'd like to suggest that we just maybe put this on hold for now until we can think it through and come up with something that'll work for us.
I'll agree with that.
But you say you get 30 days.
Well, June 9th would be the,
This contract. is
For this particular,
This-
this contract,
That-
this particular bid package.
which we can
And
just
maybe-
say.
We're not dealing with it, yeah, we're
And
gonna
I
redo it,
mean,
that's all.
hopefully the ad, which is supposed to say we have a right to,
Yes,
Yes,
that's
it
in
does
the-
say that.
okay, because I think there's an easier way to do this, and I certainly want to get these guys some,
But as far as bidding it out, this is the package. It
Yeah.
started with 90 pages, we're down to 43.
wow.
So it's
So
not
maybe
an
we need to
easy
just-
process.
It's a process.
I understand, but
Yeah.
it's not, you have to have certain things in there, and
Well-
that's kind of how we got to where we're at.
Well, boilerplate is one thing. The specifics of the actual bid itself, maybe we can tweak a little.
Oh, well. Believe me, I'd like a 2-page agreement and be done with it, but
Yeah, really.
Unfortunately, these days that
there's
doesn't
some
work.
opinions of other people that tell me different.
So we're gonna leave it at that?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But with the decision, so I'm,
You're not doing
So
nothing.
we're not throwing out the bids at this point, and
So-
we're not gonna read the bids at all. So we don't wanna give that out yet. That's not information we wanna give out. But we might wanna just, take a good look at it and figure out what we wanna do.
do you want, oh,
No, that's fine.
well, just hold on there. Okay.
Actually, Mike, if you could leave a copy of that with Jackie. so
I
she
gave
can-
her one, but-
Oh, she
I have
has
one.
one, okay,
Yeah.
that's, so it's part of the meeting itself, that'd be great. Okay, there's nothing under tree trimming anymore, you got any other comments or suggestions? No, okay, we'll move on to item 5, which is approve and authorize vacuum switch bid for $17,000.
We had we put out to bid a switch that's gonna go up on Havel Street. We'll split feeder number 3, because right now it comes out of the substation, goes to the right and goes to the left. And this switch would go to the right. We're starting to increase in load, and just a fuse will not, the load on those fuses are gonna be more than what they're designed to do. So what this switch will actually do is be able to, this is a picture of the switch, of the lowest bidder switch.
I'm sorry.
It'll actually do all 3 phases or a single phase, the line for us,
Okay,
and be able to coordinate with the feeder breaker in the station. This is kind of a first for us, but with this bid comes with all the training we need to get it going, and coordination with using PLM to get the coordination with the station, calibration, and then the coordination to get the device is electronically controlled.
okay. So has the bid been awarded yet, or?
It has not been awarded until you guys give me the blessing.
Okay,
So that's the opening. We had
Okay.
basically 4 bids. One was thrown out because it didn't have the single phase ability that was in the actual spec.
Okay. So,
So the actual lowest bid would be the Cooper Nova for $17,150.
okay. All right, so Stuart Igby, is it Noja Power?
Noja, yeah.
Noja Power. Bid on the specifications that we put out, a price of 14, but that's not, that doesn't meet specs.
It doesn't meet the specs.
Okay.
So
So
really,
the second bid was Gray Bar, and it was the Cooper Nova at $20,295.
that was through the Gray Bar Prep
Okay, the third bid that we have is Cooper
Direct.
Direct, and that's a Cooper Nova also at $17,150. And the third bid is, or actually the fourth bid, is Wesco ABB at $18,919. So it looks like the lowest bid would be the Cooper Nova direct from the factory at $17,150.
Yes.
And that's a good switch.
Yep. I also had PLM just review the specs, and he suggested that's the way to go.
Okay. So the engineer that we're using on the project also recommended the Cooper Nova?
Yes.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion to award the bid to Cooper Nova, which is Stephanie Bernier.
Is the rep. Yeah.
Is the representative from the, that's right from the manufacturer, Cooper Manufacturing. Do I have a bid for that? I mean,
Yeah, I'll make the
Motion for that?
just what you said, yeah.
the $17,150?
Yep. In a second.
Second. Motion made and seconded to award the bid to the $17,150. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
I do have a copy of the specs here too. But as far as that, how that one went.
Okay, so that's all taken care of?
Yep.
All right, you can order the switch, Mark.
On to item 6.
About 7 weeks.
Item 6, discussion on Town Common Restoration Committee underground wiring.
Well, I've been on the restoration committee for the light plant.
Yep.
And there was some talk about putting some stuff underground,
Okay,
which is this part of Independent. I don't know if you can see the poles.
yeah,
And they would like to put in like a couple lights like that,
okay,
because there's 4 street lights there, probably because of the funeral home.
yeah.
But
What
they
would-
obviously don't have any of the money for it, so we've got prices on just the stock.
Okay,
Scott said he would shoot the trench for us,
okay,
and if we did the work, that's about what the stock would cost.
okay.
And this was our little plan.
We're dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4.
What we
Lights?
no, 4 lights. There's a couple poles, but not all of them have lights. We'd put underground lights like this.
Yeah,
And what we'd have to
Those
do,
lights.
well, what we could try to do is see if we could move. That's 4 independent. Move that pole there. We'd probably have to have a hearing because they're fed from across from Main Street like that. So we'd like to try to feed it that way, and then eliminate that pole, come underground from here.
from in there, okay.
and
Because
then
that's the gazebo
we'd have to feed the
service.
gazebo though, put a pedestal in.
Yeah. Okay. It would be nice to get them off of the street and behind the curbing.
Yeah, because when they, I don't know if
It's
you can
always
see
a problem when there's a funeral there, they have to park. and
Yeah,
it's-
parking, like that one's
Yeah,
off, but
yeah.
the rest of them in the street. And Scott said plowing, he hits them all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, not hits them, but
But they're possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they wound up there. The old Cedars used to be out there. They put them in way back when.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, one of them, that one we had replaced, not that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and obviously, if they do that, trimming for the trees would be better because it'd not be underground.
Well, the trees are gonna be set back further too.
Yeah, they're gonna go in 10 to 20 feet. I guess I haven't
Yeah.
plan drawn. But.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to eliminate those poles.
So,
Okay,
So I don't know if you guys want to think about it or what you want to.
yep, no, actually, it looks like the budget would be about $7,000.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I would,
I mean, it'd be nice for
And
the
that's-
town.
Yeah, it looks sharp
That's also
too.
the new LED light,
Yeah.
Oh.
35-watt LED light
Yep.
that is installed on Wilson Pond.
Okay,
So
good.
we're not gonna get any complaints about glares later, are we?
Hopefully not.
No.
They are the top, the regular
They're full cut
antique type, gas type light. So, any discussion?
No? I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea too.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll entertain a motion.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Motion we, what are we doing here? Motion we put the wiring underground on the common,
On the Independent Streets end of the common, with new
on-
fixtures?
Independence Street. Would this eventually do all of the lighting eventually? Or is just this one section of it?
At this point, I think it's just gonna be this
Yeah.
part.
Okay,
Um,
yeah,
With cable and telephone, it'd be.
Along the Summer Street
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay, I make the
Something you can
motion.
do at a phase next in a few years or something.
Yeah, the only thing on the Independent Street side is just the secondaries for the street lighting, basically. Is all it ever was.
Okay, yeah,
I'll second that motion, Kenny.
okay.
Motion made and seconded
Seconded.
to approve a $7,000 expenditure to beautify the common with underground street lighting.
Yep.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And item number 7, discussion on policy for alternative energy projects over 10 kW.
You're on.
Oh, yeah,
I wrote a few notes down here for this discussion. Solar Energy Hub does a land lease with the owner of the property. Then they sell RMLP with the purchase power agreement the energy costs. So that keeps us as a closed system.
Mhm.
We're not opening ourselves up to a situation where a third party would be involved in purchasing or selling power. They get the RECs, which is known as renewable energy certificates.
Right.
In talking with Ipswich, Ipswich used PLM. Let me just back up one step here. What is going to need to take place is an interconnection study to make sure that what they're going to put onto our line will be able to, our lines will be able to receive it in the method in which they can do that. Ipswich used the PLM firm, which is the same firm that we use for our substation work and that I'm going to be using for this new switch. With help with GE, because GE was the turbine manufacturers, to make that interconnection happen. And then there's an interconnection agreement that would have to be signed with whoever, in this case, Solar Energy Hub. And they actually sent me a prototype of it. It's only 37 pages.
That's the agreement?
It is a prototype that we could.
Prototype agreement.
It's a template.
Mhm.
I just received this. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
So it is a template that we could make our template and probably use somebody to overlook it and see what prices we need to put in that.
Okay, I'm sure that it's at some point, particularly with this inter-utility connection report that we have to do, that they're willing to pay for that, the company?
Yes,
Okay.
that should be a cost put onto the company.
Company that's putting the project in.
Yep.
The last thing we wanted to do is interfere with our present customers, our established customers.
Yep. And actually, I should back up. I also notified Reading because Solar Energy Hub said they've done a couple of facilities in Reading, and this is actually Reading's interconnection
Oh,
agreement.
okay. If it's possible, if you could make a copy of that, maybe I'd like to be able to read it, just to kind of go through it myself.
Yep.
You may as well make us all a copy.
Yeah.
Yep, I mean-
Make it available to us so we can look at it. And I'm sure of a lot of
I mean,
us.
We can email it to you too.
Jackie, copy it.
60 days.
So this agreement, as far as the power purchase agreement, Solar Energy Hub sent us a template on the purchase power agreement.
Okay. That's a separate entity from the actual interconnection agreement, right?
Right,
Okay.
two separate things. We need a PPA and we need an interconnection
Right.
agreement.
And we can run that through legal anyway.
Yeah, both should be, and I believe Reading used Rubin and Redmond for their PPA. So
Okay.
we already have a relationship there that we should
Yep.
be able to take
Yeah,
that
they did.
template, and
Absolutely. Yep.
so it should, with a little work,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of work, be able to do something with that. Talking to Reading, they said the solar projects will help them with their demand at peak, which wasn't a avenue I was thinking about,
Mhm,
but it
mhm.
would help at Rowley as well, because if we go over our peak, we're
Yeah,
paying
particularly
market.
in the summertime, it's generally mid-afternoon, so that would help some.
So, and just that Reading has two projects with Solar Energy Hub, 2 meg and a 200 kW, which is pretty much what they're doing, a 1 and a 180. So it's pretty similar projects. And they're getting a third one, and they said the Solar Energy Hub was real easy to work with.
Okay, that's good.
So-
Good recommendation. All right.
And we have some people interested in doing this, right?
Yes, we have two people that Solar Hub is ready to move
Working
forward
with, yeah.
So,
Okay, any other discussion? Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. You're all set, Mark?
yeah, I won't bring that one up. Next meeting.
Okay, no, that works good. We can move on to item number 8, which is review proposals for demolition of barn at 24 Daniels Road.
All right, I actually have 3 proposals.
Okay,
And for what I asked them to do is this is what I put out for the bid, or a quote, just to get an idea of where we were as far as if we had to do an RFP or not. I believe that was the instructions of the board. And the bids have come out under the 10,000 threshold.
okay. Even if it's under the 10,000, you still need to pay prevailing wage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
pay
don't know.
prevailing wage, but if they pay more than that,
So
what do you, I don't get what you're saying.
Well, if whoever the contractor is, if he has help, if he hires help, then his employees
Yeah,
have to be paid prevailing wage.
yeah, okay.
Okay, I don't know if that was calculated into the proposals. Is that true? Because we have to, actually, the light department should furnish them with a prevailing wage.
No,
Form.
I can do this all over again, but as far as, I wouldn't even know what the prevailing wage title would be for. Is it demo
Well, it would
driver
be.
or?
Well, it probably would be. The state has the whole list. You need to call
Okay.
the state and get.
All right.
They'll send it out to you.
Yeah, okay.
So I mean, it's something that has to be done.
All right,
Well, even before doing all that, we also know that we have to go to the conservation.
Well, if that's the case, you need to get that stuff kind of in line,
Mhm.
and then maybe then we might want to go back and make sure that they.
all 3 of these know about the conservation
Right, and in
issues
fact,
and-
make sure that they also do the prevailing wage to see where it comes. If it comes over 10, then we need to back up and go out with a
Yeah.
regular proposal.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we need to stand at that point.
Because we have to have a public hearing for the conservation.
Yes,
So that's gonna take time.
yeah, and I'll have to post it, and then you need
Yep.
to get the sign off at least from the Historic Commission,
Yep.
so, before the permit can be issued.
Yeah, and I've contacted the people that did the environmental in the house, and just to verify what was in the bond of issue. And they listed some windows and some stockpile of boards, and not the windows in the building, but that are stockpiled
In the
on
barn?
the floor in the barn,
Okay,
had some traces of lead.
lead paint, okay.
And his suggestion was to move it to one of the other buildings and dispose of it with the other hazardous materials at that time.
Okay, and we can have the contractor do that.
Right, and the only other issue was, there was an asphalt pad under the oil tank that probably should be put in a 55-gallon drum and disposed of correctly.
Okay.
But those were the only two issues that he saw in
Found,
in
okay.
this facility.
Okay, that's good news. Okay. Is there any other discussion? Nope. Ken, no? Okay. Moving right along. And then item number 9 is discussion on policy for two-party pole attachment license agreements.
Well, Mark and I both have been working on it.
I didn't set the agenda, Mark. I only typed it.
And this is only what made it to the agenda.
I know. We both have been working on this, Mark and I called Reuben and Redmond to find, or to ask them for some type of pole attachment application that we can use, just a blank application. Because Mark has the other information that you need to know. And they had not sent it to me yet. What they sent me was an agreement.
Okay.
Okay, so we do have an agreement that and rates that, we're pretty sure about the rates, because you talked about that with us
Yeah.
the other day.
Yeah.
So I talked to them about that, and Mark, you're next.
Again,
Basically, we have two companies that want to attach fiber optics to our poles, about 200 poles for each company. What we're looking into, Verizon no longer does a 3-party agreement. They do a 2-party agreement, which what that means is we need to do a licensor agreement with this company to let them attach to our poles. And so that's where we're coming in with, we need a pole attachment agreement, and they're sending us a template for that. And then within that, there is, Verizon was, I have a contact at Verizon through one of these parties that has actually sent us some 2-party agreements that Verizon uses with some schedules for pole attachment fees that they charge, and survey work for pre-work
Make ready.
to you actually go out and do a pole-by-pole survey with them, and we can charge them for each attachment.
That's to make ready work.
Make ready work.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And so
Where's
that
the
would be the
space
next.
above? Space above Verizon or under?
The space will be between cable TV and our neutral messenger.
And how many
Is
poles are
how
you looking for?
the form reads that we will probably use, which is the Form 3 or the Form 5. I haven't figured out if the Form 3 is the new Form 5 or vice versa yet. I haven't really had that much time, but it was so big that they had to send it in 2 emails, so it's quite a lot of work to get this rate schedules and charges. And both companies are willing to go ahead and do the make-ready work so they can proceed and get back charged once we figure out what our rates would be for that make-ready work.
Okay. So we're making progress.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Did I say that all in one breath?
Is there any other discussion?
Nope,
When that says it, nope.
make a motion
Okay.
to adjourn.
So I guess if there's no other discussion, there is a motion to adjourn.
Oh,
We didn't get the minutes from the last meeting either, huh?
They're not ready yet.
They're not ready.
So do we have a motion to adjourn?
I thought I
Oh,
made it.
I'm sorry.
oh, yeah, I didn't hear it either. I second the motion.
I made a motion to adjourn. I thought you seconded, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay, motion made and seconded to
Seconded.
adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Meeting's adjourned at 4:51.
And you made your 5 o'clock.